We ready.
What's up, everybody? Hugo Infinity, guest speaker here with Professor Goodfeels on his channel. Go ahead and do your intro.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, G's and gents, peeps and cronies? This is Professor Goodfeels here with another video, man. It's a damn good day. Wishing some good love and positive energy to you, my lovely fans and peeps and cronies. Y'all stay cool.
Yeah, so today I had a topic for Professor Goodfeels, and the topic is shadow work. A lot of people don't understand what shadow work is. So, do you understand what shadow work is? Have you heard the term before?
Not at all.
So shadow work is understanding your subconscious, just understanding the deeper shadows that exist within your psyche, understanding that, you know, even though there's so much positivity out there, in our roots, there's still certain issues and turmoils that we haven't come to terms with. And shadow work is digging deep into yourself and really facing your past trauma, any addictions you have, anything holding you back, really facing it head on. Because as people, sometimes we tend to ignore it, or we tend to, just drown it in positivity. If we're just positive enough, it'll go away. But a lot of times that's not the truth. I feel like there's three types of people that when it comes to shadow work. There's people that aren't aware of their traumas, people that have no idea, they're just going through the motions, people that try to drown it in positivity. They say, no, you know what, there's nothing's wrong with me, I'm good. But late at night, boom, their head spinning with all these thoughts. And then there's the third person, people that love their demons because it keeps them company. That they know there's something wrong with them. They're like, oh well, they're fully aware that they have these problems, and they've accepted it as part of who they are. Like, oh, that's just who I am. And
I like that one, that third one.
Yeah, and so what is your opinion on toxic positivity?
Toxic positivity.
Yeah, let's get into these three people. That's the middle one. Person that it knows there's something wrong with them, but tries to drown it in positivity. Toxic positivity. What's your opinion on that?
Ooh, my view of that one is it's pretty much you trying to feed yourself BS. It's you trying to feed yourself a sense of acceptance that I feel like you can go beyond. I always feel like you can go beyond and you can do better, because life gives us that choice every single day to do and be better. Pain gives us that choice to learn and prosper, or to descend and fall, eventually fall off. But going on to that, because I've ran across that, using a perfectly fine example, because I speak about love heavily on this channel. Someone who has been hurt or done wrong in the past, and it's not just women, it's not just specifically tied to men, but someone who has done wrong or has been hurt in the past, and who has not taken the time to nurse and to address and to heal that pain, that is a toxicity, because you're fooling yourself into thinking like, okay, I'm okay. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I'm ready to love again. Okay, I'm ready to be loved. But you're not ready to give love. You know what I'm saying? You can only give it once you have it to give. And I've dealt with that a couple of times when just my dating and things of that nature. There have been certain women who just said, I don't have anything to give right now. And I understand that, and I respect that honesty, wholeheartedly. I respect that honesty and awareness, just putting that out there. But there are a lot of people, for example, I would tell you this here. Don't accept anybody's number. Don't accept anybody's advancements towards you until you are ready to be receptive towards them. When you talking to somebody or somebody's talking to you and you see that, hey, let me get your number, we can go out to dinner sometime. Don't say yeah and just be like, okay, cool, let me go ahead and do this, because eventually this person is going to keep trying to climb the ladder. They're going to keep going there when you know that you're not ready. So when you feed yourself toxicity, you're going to give it back in some way, form, or fashion, because then you're going to end up wasting that person's time. You're going to end up trying to convince and fool yourself into doing this. You're going to be putting on a mask all day. You got to make sure the mask's right, it feel good, and stuff of that nature, to try to keep that facade up. So that's a strong example of that. People who just aren't ready. And like I say, love is the best feeling you could ever feel while having this human experience. Fear is the worst kind you could ever feel. So that's what I feel about that particular quadrant, as being around people who've shown me experience of it, in a sense of speaking.
Yeah, and I like where you went with that. I like the analogy you use with mask, because it is true. And I feel like a lot of people use that mask, has a smile on it, but deep down they're hurt. Like you said, if they don't address your inner pain, they're not ready to be receptive to somebody else. Because if you waste your time, if you just lead them on, that's also creating toxic positivity towards them, because now they're thinking everything's good, everything's happy, they're in a good mood.
It just keeps going in a circle.
But deep down, you haven't addressed the real issue. So yeah, I like where you went with that. So addressing the third person, the person that's aware of their demons but likes to keep them company. There's someone that knows there's so much negative in them but just accepts it. What would you say about that?
knows it and just accepts it. I would tell them, as seeing someone who was like that, and also kind of being that in some way, form, or fashion. Again, that comes back to self-preservation. To me, it comes down to understanding more of why you are the way that you are. And before you even do all this, you gotta want to heal. You gotta want to do better, because everything that I'm finna say beyond this point, without the desire to do so, or without the desire of the goal of getting better, if you ain't got that within your system, everything I'm finna say is pretty much finna be pointless. But going under the assumption that you're trying to tinker with that, because there are some people who just don't have ambition, some people who are trying to find ambition, people like me who just may not know their purpose, but they're seeking it. If you're in any of those two categories, I got a lot of respect for you. I feel like a little bit more respect for those who are seeking it, because you're refusing to accept what's going on. If you're a person who's just swimming in your demons and stuff of that nature, the first thing you need to do is you got to have a reason to get up. You have to have a reason to get up. You have to have a reason to fight. You got to have a reason to build. You know what I'm saying? Without that actual reason, everything else is just going to be BS, because you don't have the heart and soul to put into whatever your project is, to put into whatever your baby could be, to put in whatever relationship that you're trying to build and cultivate, not just within somebody else, but the relationship within yourself. You have to build that relationship up. Like I said, happiness and love and joy should be your primary focus, because when it is, your perception of life will change. How you feel about yourself is also going to determine how you feel about life. And again, this is just my personal opinion as a person who's experienced this kind of stuff, and it works. That's just what I say. It works. It's worked, and it's providing. It's changed my life by just understanding myself and making myself a topic of study. And certain occasions back then, I would be in that cesspool to the point like, man, I don't even want to do this no more. It's not gonna work or something like that. And I got tired. It's just like waking up. Not everybody will wake up. That's just how it is. Some people will die in their own illusions. They'll die in their own delusions. They'll die in their own self-hatred. They'll die in their own this and that, whatever. It's just some people will have it, some people will not. And that's just how life is. Focus on the ones who want to do more, to do better, and who want to amplify that good feeling if you are in that kind of that position. Because sometimes somebody can open a door, plant a seed within us that can make us be like, you know what, man, life can get better. Damn, I can't wake up smiling. Damn, I can't really enjoy myself. Sometimes, you'll find people like that. But in culmination with getting tired and wanting to see something different, and having the ambition to say, okay, I want to seek something new, will really help that. That is what will really help.
I like that. So going back to the first class of people, the people that are unaware of the trauma. Some people that think everything's all right, they're not aware that something is wrong with them. How do they go about that self-discovery of really digging deep and analyzing themselves and trying to figure out why they are the way they are? How do you initiate that self-study?
How to initiate the self-study? The self-study, how I would look at it and how I have looked at it when it came to my life, I looked at myself. Not just with my mind, but I used all three. I used my mind, my heart, and my spirit. And I asked myself some very important questions. Like, for example, when I was at work, I started thinking to myself, why am I somewhere that I do not enjoy being? I had that realization, why am I here? I'm going to pay some bills. I'm going to go buy some food, maybe buy a game or something like that, save up for the next car that I'm going to get or things of that nature. But it would not make me happy because I've had all of that. I had a car and it was repossessed. I have a plethora of games and things of that nature. I used to think that, okay, the more games I get, the better life will be. The more money I get, maybe life will be better and things of that nature. But it did not work for me. And I just had that realization that it's not cutting it. It's something that I am missing. It was something that I'm really missing. So I looked at my life and I asked myself, am I where I want to be? Can I do better? Can I grow from this? You know what I'm saying? Everything and every atrocity that's ever happened or whatever, I make it my point to learn from it and to see what it is that I can get. And a quote from Ralph Smart, he said, instead of thinking about, oh, why is this happening to me? What is the universe trying to teach me? Because it's not a good or bad kind of spectrum. It just is. It's not about having a lot of money or little money. I have this much money, blah blah. is just money. You know, that same kind of concept. And I just really started to ask some deeper and heavier questions. And I felt like, you know, hey, what about this and that? And I started to trace them back. I feel this way because this happened. I feel this way because of the choice that I made. I have this person in my life because of the choice that I made and things of that kind of nature and what I chose to accept within my life. So again, it still keeps coming back to the topic of self-study, because when you study yourself and you maintain your world, you know what I'm saying, you maintain a positive outlook on the outside world. And so I feel like a lot of things that you have is an extension of you.
Yeah. So going deeper into this, dealing with the different types of shadows that we have, you know, whether it's trauma, we'll just go, you know, one by one. How do you think people can heal from trauma? Something that, you know, traumatic that happened in their past. How do you go about healing that within you?
First of all, it comes through acceptance. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to accept certain things that you couldn't change. You know what I'm saying? Either you didn't have the knowledge right there and there, you didn't have certain means or whatever. Whatever happened or whatever you may have lacked, coming to an understanding that, okay, this just happened. But also realizing this is not the end. Everyone who's watching this video right now, you have a chance and you have a choice to make a better life, because right now you are alive to make that choice. Life will continuously give that choice. And by understanding and accepting, you then move on to learning. You know what I'm saying? You begin to reach out and get outside of that bubble of sadness that you will be in while thinking of that same particular problem. You know what I'm saying? Once you reach outside of there, you reach out and you find new resources. You find new people. You begin to also attract new opportunities, new knowledge to you, to help you prosper, to become a better version of yourself. Because then once you get outside of that bubble, like I said, you moving towards evolution and growth. And that will come also too with a change of routine. It will definitely come with a change of routine. It will come with a change of people that you hang around with. It will come with a change of perception of how you view the world, how you're viewing yourself, how you even view that event. When you view that event in a different light, you know what I'm saying, and learn to make peace with everything that may have happened, regardless of what it is, because I don't know anybody who can go back and change the past. So you might as well focus on learning to accept, understand, and to move beyond it, and to keep elevating yourself. When you make elevating yourself a primary focus as well, you don't have time for a lot of the old things that you would do. You know what I'm saying? When I started to change my life and said, you know what, I feel like I can do better, I can be better, I can have more, I can have good people around me. The only thing I worry about now, health, wealth, love, and happiness. I got that quadrant from Ty Lopez, but it pretty much signifies the good life. I want to wake up every day doing what I enjoy. I want to be financially free doing something that I enjoy doing every day. I want a strong woman behind me to really support me and keep me on myself, and someone that I can give that same love, support, and energy and time to as well. And just to continue to maintain health, being happy, I keep working out and stuff of that kind of nature. I maintain that. By doing that, like I said, my routine and how I view life, who I hung around with and stuff like that changed. It changed dramatically, and I began to also bring these ideas to the people that were my friends who may not have seen it like that, but now they do. Because now they're starting to ask questions like, why the hell am I here? Why the hell you talking to me like that? Why you do this and that? Why your forehead shaped like that? You know what I'm saying? Just like it's a lot of stuff that really influences. So change your routine, change your perception. It has to come with a sense of change, which will lead to growth.
I like that. And I also feel like that does feed into my next question. Some of the other traumas is addiction. How do you feel like people can overcome certain addictions that they have? But you did answer some of that in your last response, you know, just talking about changing routines and all that. But let's get a little bit deeper into that. You know, people that have strong addictions that they can't seem to break, that they can't seem to get out of the routine of it, what advice would you have for them, or how would they overcome that?
An addiction you may have, how would I say to get out of an addiction that you have? My addiction was more or less video games, because it fueled my imagination. I was able to see the world at a different perspective. How would I say get out of that? What I would say when it comes to getting out of an addiction that you may have is learning how to live unlimited. You know what I'm saying? Live unlimited and do not be bound by anything. Because like I said, not just the self-study part, but understand that everything that you see around you is an extension of some other form of thing. You know what I'm saying? Everything is kind of connected within itself, you know. And when it comes to the addiction part, once you realize more of just what it is that you do and who you are, you're not bound by anything anymore. A thing cannot hold you. You begin to understand it as just a tool. And certain addictions, such as whatever it is that you may be, you begin to understand that this is not the definition of who you are as a person, that this is not what makes you who you are. Becoming whole and understanding yourself and expressing yourself and being you is what you are. You know what I'm saying? Don't be bound by video games, money, whatever, any kind of substance it may be. Hell, there's people addicted to sugar. You know what I'm saying? Just live an unlimited kind of life. And that life will come by understanding and changing routines and perceptions and becoming in alignment with who you truly are, doing what you love, being around people you love that love you back, and things of that kind of nature. And you'll begin to understand that that's the best thing I could ever have. That's the best thing you could ever have.
It's a hell of an answer. Yeah. So, 60 minutes in, I think the final question I have, understanding your inner shadows, you also have to understand the shadows around you. How would you deal with toxic people? People that are in your life, whether, you can remove them from your life, whether you can. People are just come day to day, whether it's, they're there for a day or they're there for, your whole lifetime. Mm-hmm. How would you respond to toxic people?
Toxicity, I used to respond to it with just cutting people off automatically, because I'm a big believer in preserving your energy and preserving that good world that's within you. But my desire to also be helpful towards people, to have a purpose in a person's life, a real purpose in somebody's life, it would make me be like, okay, maybe I can still see what's up with this person or whatever. Because mine, for example, not letting go of a woman who wasn't ready for me. Now that I'm able to consciously perceive, okay, we're not going to be on that same level, I need to consciously let you go. I can still hang in there. I can still put in effort to someone who's still trying to find, that drive, that purpose and things of that kind of nature. I can still definitely put forth that kind of effort and work. But when it comes to someone who's just ultimately toxic, and I realize consciously that you are not a good person, you're not an asset in my life. Everything is some form of transaction, be it a transaction of energy, a transaction of money, a transaction of time, or something like that. You're giving something, getting something in return. And if I know for a fact that I'm not getting anything, or what I'm getting does not have real value in my life, I would let that person go. And especially if they're a real bad person, I can see that this person did me wrong, I cut them off completely. Because there's no point to me in having anyone who does not make you smile in your life, anyone who does not promote you to be a better person, anyone who does not amplify you in a way, you know what I'm saying? There's no point to me. I can't find a reason to say, okay, cool, I'm going to keep you around in my life, even though you a kleptomaniac, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, or you did something to me personally to make me feel that way. I can't see a reason to do that. So it's a responsibility to myself to let you go, because of the way how I'll put in time and effort into a person. I cherish that, and I understand the value of what that means, especially in today's world, what it means to really give a damn and to have best friends and stuff like that. I understand that value, and I'm not going to just give it away for free because of my understanding.
Yeah.
So I let them go and cut them off completely.
So I feel like the only circumstance that might be difficult for some people is of their family. Well, how do you feel about that? If it's someone in your family that you're going to have to see constantly?
You're going to have to see constantly? Put forth effort into, I'm not spitting on you, but put forth effort into removing yourself from that person. Put forth effort into mentally and emotionally learning how to block them off. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to be around, say, for example, you still staying with someone, blah, blah, you know they're a bad person, first learn to mentally and emotionally block them off. And you'll naturally, physically start to make new changes and new ways to adapt to get in your own place, to whatever it means to physically remove yourself from that place. Whether it's going to do whatever it is you're going to do. Like I said, the mind and the emotion, the spirit come first. When you do that, the physical will follow. It will follow the desires of the mind and soul. And once you do that, like I said, you'll start to understand more of just, okay, this is someone I'm just done with you. There's no point.
Yeah. Man, you've exceeded my expectations. You really had some really in-depth answers to all of that. I feel like that pretty much covers what shadow work is and a lot of ways to deal with it. You hell of an answer, bro. So
your questions was hitting too. Like those are questions that actually made me think, because if I'm looking down, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scratching my chin or something like that, I'm thinking.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, them questions was fine. Those
Hey,
was
I'm gonna
fine,
interview
spot
you.
on
I got
questions.
some good questions.
For sure, man.
But yeah, I guess we'll wrapping it up. Shadow work, it's important to know yourself, love yourself. If you need more help learning that, Professor Goodfeels channel is all about good energy, good vibrations, you know, just motivating yourself. Man, check him out. It's a great collab right here. You know, this dude knows what he's talking about.
It was fantastic. Again, thank you, my boy Johnny. Hugo Infinity. Y'all need to definitely make sure y'all check out this man's channel. Links will be in the description. It's going to be on my story. It's just going to be everywhere. I ain't going to lie to y'all. It was a fantastic collaboration. Really fantastic. Be sure to check out his stuff, y'all. You trying to get some interviews. You trying to see what kind of books is coming out, what they talking about, how they feeling about, and some just good music for the soul. You know what I'm saying? Check out his channel, y'all. Do yourself a favor and make your life better. I was playing. But thank you, everybody, for joining in on this long video. For those of you who made it to the end, well, you're welcome. I'm just playing. That's me talking to people like that. But thank you very much, though. I appreciate y'all. This is Professor Goodfeels reminding you that greatness is within you. It's your responsibility to pull it out. Stay smooth like butter, slick like hair grease, and fine like cream gravy. Stay smooth and walk tall, y'all.